Welcome back, guys, to Adventures with Michael and Julie. Just me today in another spooky video. Today we are going to talk about Appalachia and some Appalachian folklore. Now, as you know, I grew up in Appalachia. Julie grew up in Appalachia, and this region has been known for many things. The stunning landscape, rugged beauty, especially for Julie and I, but it also holds something darker. Stories have been passed down through generations, including through my family and Julie's family. Passed down, we'll say, from the hills to the hollers, if you are from the part of Kentucky that I am from, where the mist rises and the moon hangs low. So I've got a little bit of a spooky and a little bit of a funny video today. Now, if you've ever wandered through these mountains, if you've ever driven through these mountains, you may know the feeling. Strange sensation in the trees at particular parts of the day, or simply walking and allowing yourself to erase all silence and noise and take in the atmosphere. So today we are going to dive in to some of the most interesting and strange pieces of folklore as we move through 4 of my favorite passed down Appalachian folklore stories. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, where the mist rolls through ancient forests and the shadows stretch longer than they should, folklore and superstition still thrive. These mountains aren't just filled with beauty, they're alive with stories. Stories of spirits, strange creatures, and mysterious people who have haunted this land for centuries. Today, we're going to explore some of the most chilling Appalachian folklore. The ghostly Haints, the mischievous Boogers, and the elusive Moon-Eyed people. And lastly, the terrifying Kentucky Goblins. Welcome to the darker side of Appalachia, where not everything stays hidden in the woods. Today we are looking at stories from the restless Haints, what is called the Haint, to the elusive Moon-Eyed people. These stories have sketched the true soul of Appalachia. So let's get started. Number 1 is Haints. If you grew up in the South or anywhere near the Appalachian Mountains, you've probably heard about these restless spirits. Haints aren't your average ghosts. They're spirits that haven't been able to cross over yet. Tormented souls stuck between the world of the living and the dead. And they're not exactly friendly. These spirits are said to cause mischief, and sometimes worse things. Cold drafts, strange noises in the night, or worse, people disappearing, never to be seen from again. So, if you've ever felt a sudden chill while walking through the mountains, you might be passing through a Haints territory. The origin of Haints are really derived from the more generic term haunt. But these spirits are consistent with more malevolent ghosts than typical ghosts. Haints are known to torment the living, causing misfortune, sickness, and even death in some legends. They are found in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina and Georgia. Traditionally, homes in Appalachia were painted what's called Haint blue on their porches specifically. to repel these spirits, believing that the color mimicked the sky or water, which Haints typically cannot cross. Recent accounts. There have been occasional modern reports of strange occurrences in old Appalachian homes, cold drafts, footsteps at night, or even a sense of being watched. Some attribute these to Haints, especially in areas where the tradition of Haint blue is still kept alive to this day. Next, we have Boogers, or the boogeyman. These are trickster spirits, or, depending upon who you ask, physical creatures lurking in the deep woods of the Smoky Mountains specifically. Now, booger might sound like a funny word. However, these are no joke if you listen to the folklore. These creatures love to frighten people, especially children. They hide in caves behind trees, waiting for the right moment to jump out and spook victims. Some say they're just mischievous, causing chaos, but not much harm. Others, well, they'll tell you that if you get too close to a booger's territory, you might not make it back. And even today, campers and hikers report strange sounds and unsettling feelings in the woods. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe it's something watching you. These creatures are known for scaring people, especially children, and have often been used as cautionary tales to keep kids from wandering into dangerous places. The term booger may have originated from the Old English word bug, meaning a frightening specter. Boogers are said to lurk in the forests and caves of the Smoky Mountains, often showing up on foggy nights to spook travelers or mislead them down wrong paths. Recent accounts include hikers and campers in the Appalachian region reporting strange noises, eerie sensations, or the feeling of being stalked in the woods. While there's no solid evidence, many believe boogers can be or are held responsible for unsettling feelings in the Appalachian Mountains. Number 3, the Moon-Eyed People. Now, the Moon-Eyed People is where we really start getting into some strange areas. This is a Cherokee legend. And the Cherokee legend says long before the Cherokee people arrived to the Appalachian region, there was a race of people living in that mountain range. They were small, pale-skinned, and had large, sensitive eyes. They could only come out at night because the sunlight hurt them. The Moon-Eyed People lived in the caves and deep forests, hidden from sight. Some say they were driven away after a conflict with the Cherokee people, disappearing deep into the mountains, never to be seen again. There's still debate about who or what they were. Were they an ancient race or something else entirely? And while there haven't been any confirmed sightings in recent years, many believe their story is far from over. Could they still be out there, hidden away deep within the Appalachian caves? They're most commonly associated with the areas around the southern Appalachian Mountains, particularly near present-day North Carolina and Georgia. Ancient stone structures in the region, such as the ruins of Fort Mountain in Georgia, are sometimes attributed to these mysterious people. While no recent sightings of the Moon-Eyed People have been documented, there is a growing interest in this legend among local historians and paranormal enthusiasts. Some claim that traces of their civilization could still be hidden deep within the Appalachian wilderness. And last but certainly not least, one of mine, in my own backyard, if you will, specific Kentucky and Appalachian folklore stories are the Kentucky Goblins. A little bit ridiculous. So, the Kentucky Goblins started as Appalachian folklore fairly recently, 1955 to be exact, in an eastern Kentucky town called Kelly, Kentucky. So a family claimed that they were terrorized by these small goblin-like beings that came out at night. They had glowing skin and clawed hands, and the family had to fight them off. But the creatures continued to come back. Some believe these were extraterrestrials, while others think they were living in caves in Kentucky for centuries, emerging only when disturbed. And for those of you who might not know, Kentucky is actually home to the largest cave system in the world. Since then, sightings have been reported here and there. Strange creatures have been seen around Kentucky's caves, flickering lights in the hills at night as well. So whether you believe this one as an alien or as a cryptid, the Kentucky Goblin is still a legend that, I say fortunately or unfortunately, refuses to fade away. Primarily, again, these creatures are associated only with Kentucky and in the coal mines or in the cave system throughout the state. They claim to hide from human eyes and occasionally emerge to wreak havoc. There have been modern reports of similar sightings, particularly in rural Kentucky. Actually, in 2012, there was a surge in interest when a paranormal investigative team claimed to have captured evidence of these goblin-like creatures in the mountains. The Appalachian Mountains are more than just a place of natural beauty. They're steeped in stories of the unknown. From the spirits of the restless Haints to the trickster Boogers, the ancient Moon-Eyed people, and the mysterious Kentucky Goblins, these mountains hold secrets that continue to intrigue and terrorize those who dare to look deeper. Whether you believe in these legends or not, one thing is for sure: Appalachia's folklore will always remain inseparable to its identity. So, the next time you venture into those woods, remember, you might not be alone. So there you have it, adventurers. 4 of the most, I don't know if I will say spine-tingling, but interesting pieces of Appalachian folklore that I find both hilarious, a little intriguing, and interesting, that has been passed down from many generations, including my own. So if you ever find yourself wandering through the woods, or if you do just a quick Google search, you can find many hilarious or not so hilarious stories associated with these 4 pieces of folklore. So thanks for joining me today on this little solo adventure and another spooky video for the month of October. As always, we appreciate you joining. If you have one that you remember, you recall, you grew up in this area, please let me know, and I will research it or comment if I know about it. These were not the only 4 that I remember being told or having my grandparents talk about, or even being able to call up my mother and say, hey, do you remember this? This is one of those things that as we continue to age, the generations before us that have grown up and lived and died and breathed Appalachia continue to pass down. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Until we see each other in another video, have a good day.